Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and thank you so much for joining me this evening on In Review. I want to wish you a wonderful evening, and thank you so much for joining me. My name is Sylbourne Garry. Today is the 19th of May 2022, and I trust you're having a good day. Well, listen, there's so much thing which is happening, and I'm waiting to see if I got any guests. But if no guests come on, we'll just go with it. And there's so many different topics to talk about. Well, listen, I think last night they said there was some red dirt or something like that, which was coming into the UK again. I noticed the car has never had much really. So what can I say? Um, but at the same time, I'm going across the continents today. USA, uh, Jamaica, and UK. There's so many different issues, so many things to talk about. One of the things, which is one of the first thing, is that Kamina Johnson Smith get great and fundamental endorsement from the Prime Minister and members of the cabinet as well for Commonwealth Secretary General. That's positive stuff for her. In the USA, Buffalo shooting, New York probes the bone chilling social media role, which is of this crazy geezer who was went into this place and just shooting up black people, you know. But there's a point which I'm going to bring about later about how the world is not level, which I'm sure you'll agree with. And Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, he will not face a further Partygate fine of number 10. There we go. So so Boris Johnson may have gotten off. Maybe we should have called him the slippery one. and more and UFO. What they're talking about, UFO giving a close watch. UFOs. I mean, they've been talking about Area 51 and all these things for years, for years. But all of a sudden, they're talking about UFOs again. What is going on? There's so many different distractions going on around the world. Russia and everything. There's no COVID. I mean, I don't know if what should I say? Should I call myself a conspiracy theorist? But most time they say that conspiracy theorists are persons who actually say things, and somewhere along the line it becomes a reality. Yeah, and it manifests itself to a reality. You know, that could be the whole thing. Um, Michelle, how are you doing? Peace and love, all on the live. I'm in the building. Awesome. I'm in the building as well. I'm trying to get this thing here sorted out on this side. But listen, Gary's gonna come on later. I think the first thing I want to talk about is it's in Jamaica. In Jamaica, there's this. Let me just turn off this music here in the background. There's this very interesting developments whereby 8 teachers died in 9 days. 8 teachers died in 9 days. And many people are having discussions about it. And there are questions that need to be answered. I was hoping to get Chris Tufton, the Minister of Health, who is in the UK now, as he's a chair of some health bits of the Commonwealth. And he said, if anything, we can do something by what should I say? You know, maybe have it recorded. But let me just bring in Gary in the meantime. Hey, Gary, how you doing?
Hey, Sylbourne. Bless you, man. It's great to be a part of the Sylbourne CDL show again. Once more, another week.
Another week, and there's so much things which is out there, and I was just thinking to myself that if for instance, I know you're busy, there's so many different things to just talk about and just to think through, and for people to think as well, you know. But anyway, how's your weekend here? How's it? I'm a bit hot. My
Well,
my head. My, Gary,
yeah.
no, I said my head top is sweating, you know.
Well, I mean the if it's so beautiful, it's been a really glorious day up in Yorkshire here. So I can imagine what Birmingham or even London is like. It must be sweltering down there. It must be
Did you
very
say
hot down
did you say you're in Yorkshire?
Yeah, Yorkshire, Leeds.
Leeds, Gary.
Yeah.
Is that the same place?
Well, it's in the county of Yorkshire.
Ah, because I was gonna say, but I was saying, man, you don't know where there.
Leeds
I was- eh?
is in Yorkshire. Leeds, the city of Leeds is in Yorkshire.
Yes, 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 yes. Listen, Gary, I don't know if you have heard something about eight teachers died in Jamaica of recent days.
I've heard, and I'm just the question that I need to ask is why? I mean, what's going on? Why are the teachers just dropping down like that? What's going on?
Mm.
Have you heard anything?
No, I mean, I'm watching different persons putting things out there, saying that you have teachers with students, one teacher to 50 unvaccinated children in schools, and but another person spin it by saying one vaccinated teacher to 50 unvaccinated children.
I mean, do
Um,
you really think that the vaccination has anything the pandemic has anything to do with that? I don't think so.
is there a pandemic?
Well, is there one? Tell me. You tell me. You're the one
Well,
informed.
well, well. The thing about it is that what Boris Johnson said when we came out of it in the UK, they just made a decision and just come out of it. You know what I'm saying? What Boris Johnson said is go about your business, and if you get a flu, treat the COVID as how you treat the flu. Tan your yard, stay your yard. You know, I have a case or so, and one of the lawyers or so can't make it because his partner is not well, so therefore he's going remote. That's what things do. So it still exists, it is still out there, but in Jamaica, and according to what I understand Christopherton is saying, is that it is also increasing in Jamaica. But how do you know it is increasing?
I don't know.
Testing, Gary. Testing. They're testing. They stopped testing in Jamaica. They stopped testing in the UK. Maybe they're still testing in Jamaica. That's what is happening. So the more they keep testing, the more they're gonna find things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, we, we're gonna have to see what happens, really. You know.
But the most important thing is that in 8 days, I mean, people are sometimes saying that, hey, it is normal, people die all the while. But I say, no, it's not normal for teachers to just die like that. It is something of a strange occurrence. And it'll be very interesting to find out. And I hope somehow that they can get to the bottom of it, because that means to say, um, it's what do we call it? It's a very high risk zone. It will be a high risk zone
Yeah,
for
yeah.
teachers as well. But anyway, that was just to start, because I think it is a pressing thing which I recognize out there, which is happening. Boris Johnson again, Gary. Boris Johnson is seeming to get away from everything, man. That's your guy, isn't it? He said no Partygate. They said the Partygate is that he's not going to be charged. No more. He's not. There's not going to be any more. What should I say? Um, fine for the prime minister.
Well, they can't find him anymore. If they have, you see, I think it's all politics. It's all to do again with politics.
Yeah.
If I guarantee you, and I want every listener take note of the
Mm,
date and the day and the year, because when Boris Johnson leaves government,
mm.
it's going to come out that he should have received fines. It's going to
Oh,
come
but
out.
he got a fine. He got a fine already. He did get a fine.
Yeah, but another one should be there. Another one should be there. There's a lot of things that are being hidden from us right now that we don't know about. We can't talk about it.
Gary,
And but the
what's
whole
what's
country,
what's
the
what's the
whole
purpose?
country.
What's the purpose of these fines? What is it saying? Why
Well,
more
he broke
fine?
the law. The thing about it is that he broke the law and he lied about it.
Mm,
That you see, We can always talk about the fluff,
Yes.
as they say. You can always talk about what's out there on the periphery, but the main point of all of this, Sylbourne, is
Mm,
that he broke the law. The very laws that he brought in, the very
mm,
things he stood up by the dispatch box and the MPs and everybody else who do with government brought in to say that if you do this, if you go there, if you whatever, then you're broken the law. Because quite a few students, I think there was one student was it in Manchester? I'm not sure. I'm sure people out there will be able to tell me
yeah.
that they organized a party and they were charged how much? A
Mm,
few £1,000s. They were charged, or a few £100s. I'm just probably I'm exaggerating it too much, but they were charged. You've
yeah.
got you've got other places, other people, because they did what they did. They were they were penalized because they had to pay a fine. And
Mm,
he, who is the prime mayor of this here United Kingdom, yes, only is fined and charged £50.
yes.
Listen, man.
Well,
No,
let's say him and his wife, they did not receive a second fine. They were both issued with £50 fixed penalty notice last month for breaking COVID laws. Also, you got Keir Starmer, who's waiting to see if he's going to be fined. He said if he's fined, he's going to resign. Boris Johnson say, I have no time for that. I got big things to do, man. I'm trying to, So Keir Starmer has put himself out there to say that he's the top guy in the sense of morality. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I think in a way how things are now, we're moving on, and I think the UK has got to move on in a way at this time. I think, in light of the high rate of inflation, gas, electric, food, all these things which are happening, there need to be a level of stability. And I don't know. I think the level of enthusiasm that the various government ministers and different parties wanting to see Boris go on the whole Partygate. I wouldn't say the government ministers, but those from the opposition bench, if they spend that amount of energy in trying to sort out the high rate of inflation and putting pressure on the government to see how they can get these windfall tax and all those sort of things and capping certain things, then life would be better. And I guess it's going to happen again when Sue Gray the report comes out. When Sue Gray the report come out, if that's the lady name, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to start all over again. Sue Gray's party report to be damning for the PM. That's what it says. Um, it says here the expectation is that the senior civil servant will publish her report on COVID rule breaking parties at number 10 next week when Parliament is still sitting, and the Prime Minister will then give his promised statement in the Commons. Boris Johnson critics are hoping that the Gray report into Partygate will set out the scale of law breaking on his watch in primary colors. But will it be quite devastating as it wish? It is like this team or the world's team has somehow come out of it to a certain extent. It's like when you started the poll tax and everybody raised up and go crazy, and then it's okay, we won't get and then bring in the council tax. So it is like the world's team has somewhat gone out of it, and maybe somewhat we are stuck with Boris. Are you happy with that? You stuck with Boris, Mike? You stuck with Boris?
we stop it, Boris, because there's nobody else in that party, in my estimation, that can take on the responsibilities that they need to take on.
Mm,
I'm not saying again that we need to go back to the Michael Heseltine era or to the Jeffrey Howe era and such. But listen, folks, even in the Labour Party, even in probably the Liberal Party, and when you look across the board in our
mm,
world today, we are not having the level of of leadership that this world has had. Now, listen to me. I'm not saying that there's
mm.
that the level of leadership of yesteryear was perfect. No, they were far from it.
Yeah.
You know, there were many scandals. There was much, theft and thievery and there was murder, and there was, adultery, and a lot of all of that was going on in those
Yeah.
in during that leadership era. There was plenty of it. So I'm
Mm.
not saying that they were perfect,
Yeah.
but there was a level of integrity and forthrightness,
It was
and
there.
when they did wrong, and it was time to step down, they stepped down and
Mm.
away. As much as they didn't want to. No, who wants to? In every generation, there's always been people who don't want to step down, but because they've been found out to maintain dignity, and to maintain some sort of
Yeah.
respectability. These days, respectability and dignity are two words and two actions that we don't see much in this world anymore.
There's this thing about the leadership. What do you call it? There's some leadership standard or some codes of leadership which is normally used at times. Is it that that level of credibility and integrity is no more, as you rightly say, Gary? Everybody's just after themselves, their skin. Don't care about that. Laugh it off.
Yeah, well, I think that my friend. Listen, sorry, Sil. I want to say hi to Michelle. Um, Michelle has just messaged me, and I must say, I must. Well, I haven't got my hat. I haven't got a hat. Hold on. I must take my hat off.
You take your hat off. Well, I keep my hat on.
I've got I must take my hat off to my friend Michelle, and I'm
Yeah,
probably Deanne is around there somewhere. I don't know. She
yeah,
hasn't she hasn't
yeah,
shown up.
yeah.
But I think yeah, I think that there is a degree, I think, with with leadership of today, that there are men, and there are now a lot of women who are in it,
Mm.
and for themselves. Now I know that some will say they're in it to help people, and to help, their communities, to help their genders. Because you got gender neutrals out there, which of
That's
course
what
I'm not.
that's
It's
what they're there for. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
but at the same time, that they are there for themselves, and dignity and respectability. Those are two words, in my estimation, that we are, or that's not really being held to account for certain persons, in the public eye, that is, and also in the business world. They're there, and they're there for themselves, and to reap and to gain, um, you know, where they
I,
want.
I
They
I've got a
want.
view. I've got a view that at times it is too easy for people to just say resign, resign. When a minister or a government official or whatever caught with their pants down, I'm not talking with some sexual act or illegal stuff, but maybe they find themselves short on something. Everybody's always wanting them to resign. I believe sometimes that they need to hang around and sort out the mess. People love to ask to resign. It's the easiest thing to do. Resign, resign, resign. I would just keep going around in circles as if to say anyone is perfect. And while at the same time, I do agree that the government set the rules regarding the Partygate factor during the course of that time when people weren't able to say bye to their families and all those other things. But Gary, really and truly, a lot of parties were still going on. But I don't want to labor on this thing. Personally speaking, right now, I think the most fundamental thing is just that the UK really get going, the world get going, Jamaica get going. I mean, right now, I mean, if we just even switch onto Jamaica a bit, you see the high rate of inflation, people are demonstrating, teachers demonstrating, civil servants demonstrating. I don't think teachers actually, firemen demonstrating. It's a worldwide thing. It's a worldwide thing where everybody's actually concerned about the high rate of inflation, and people are feeling it. And when you put that in comparison and put it in perspective, you realize that people are not so much fussed, the majority, I believe, about the Partygate. People are fussed about the fact that the UK will spend billions sending arms to Ukraine, while at the same time they're not taking care of themselves. People in Jamaica might get a bit annoyed that government ministers are flying all over the place while people are actually suffering and not having food and demonstrating. And they say, do they really care? And I think that is the key thing, whereby there need to be so much of a focus at this time upon the people and the nation, because everyone is actually coming out of this COVID thing. And then Ukraine sort of put it in, sort of put another dampener on the whole process. You know, that's my sort of thinking in regards to that. But listen, unless you want to say something else, but I want to jump straight into Baroness Scotland and Kamina Johnson, because the Prime Minister today that he endorsed Kamina Johnson as the Commonwealth Secretary General, which is going to take place in Rwanda sometime very soon. And what it is that the United Kingdom has endorsed Kamina Johnson Smith to be the next Commonwealth Secretary General. And I see the tweets which are coming from all different places. It's the first major public support for the Jamaican Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Minister from one of the Commonwealth big power. Australia, Canada, India, New Zealand, and South Africa have not publicly indicated their intentions. The Maldives and Singapore have already endorsed Johnson, who is seeking to oust the incumbent Baroness Patricia Scotland as the top executive of the 54 member group. Have you any thoughts of this? I sort of touch on it. What is your take on this? Jamaica, well, Baroness Scott, Jamaica sort of getting so much involved in this Commonwealth when they said at recent days we want to get rid of the Queen.
um, I don't know. Again, um, it is all political. I think there is something. You see, there's a lot of things that's happening behind the scenes, as you know this very well. Not so much in particular in this case,
Yes,
but you know, I don't have to tell you. Nobody has to say anything to you on this score for you to begin to take note. But there's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes that we do not know. We're not aware. We're not informed. Only those who are in the know knows.
are you saying? Are you saying you think that something dodgy is going on,
I'm not
or
saying
there's
no. It's not a matter that there may
dodgy?
be anything dodgy. I mean, it's great to know that Jamaica again um, has been endorsed. I mean, even though it's the individual, but the individual is representing or is a representative of the Jamaican people, isn't it so?
Well, she's not going to be there representing Jamaica. She's just
No, no, but she's a Jamaican. That's what I'm saying. She's
yeah,
a Jamaican.
she's a Jamaican who is
Right,
going to be
right.
there, but not representing Jamaica.
No, but she is. In one sense, she is. She's a Jamaican, and that is what's being
Well,
spoken of to
yeah,
some
well, yeah, of course, she's an ambassador. Like myself, yeah, by default, I'm an
exactly
ambassador
like
for Jamaica. Yeah.
exactly.
If anything happened, there was the Jamaican man straight from Ochi. I am that, Ochi man, Sylbourne. I am do that, Yes, all right. And if something go great, they'll say Jamaican born British. But if something go wrong, they say Jamaican Ochi man.
Exactly. No, no, but I hear what you're saying, Sylbourne, and you're right. But at the same time, she's a Jamaican. She's not there to represent Jamaica. She's there as the head of the Commonwealth, but she is still representing Jamaica. You can't
That,
divorce her from that fact. So
that is very correct. That is very
yeah.
correct.
So she's there. She's a good example and a good a
Ambassador.
good representative,
Ambassador.
yeah, ambassador for Jamaica, and
Mm,
she will do a good job. I'm sure she will do a good job. But then
yeah.
at the same time, at the same time, just like what you had mentioned from last week or even the week before, that there was a situation that had arisen with the former and with and also with Kamina.
Yes.
And um, there may have been things that have been said that we are not aware.
Mm, mm. I
Probably there were
yeah,
negotiations there
yeah.
in the pot that we are not aware, because you know this also, every deal, every situation that comes up on any governmental table amongst anybody who is anybody within government, there is always something that is attached that
Mm,
the general populace is not aware of, and
mm,
decisions are made based on the information that they have, not on what we may perceive.
mm.
So we must not think blindly that everything is as it seems. That we mustn't. Don't be fooled. We must not be fooled. Again, I'm glad. I have nothing against to say for against either Scotland or Kamina,
Mm.
but we must be aware. We've got to be wise, and don't act silly
Yeah.
to think that there isn't something that's been going on. But again, the powers that be still can always say, well, there's nothing. There's nothing. Everything is okay. We've
Yeah.
chosen them on their merit, and that's fine, because we can't come
Mm.
back on that. There's
But
nothing that we
yeah,
can give to
but
them for them to say you're not. It's not true.
but don't you think that Jamaica should be trying to get something out of it, being to the fact that the Prime Minister of the UK is endorsing, and I'm seeing a lot of different MPs and Liz Truss also, the Foreign Secretary. She also endorsed Kamina Johnson today. Of course, they are following the lead of Boris Johnson. Lord Tariq Ahmed of Wimbledon, Baroness Sugg, Vicky Ford MP, Liz Truss, all endorsed her. I'm saying to myself that maybe Jamaica should be trying to get a conversation about lifting the visa restrictions. Let's get something, man.
Well, Sylbourne, why? My question is again, in answer, I hope, to the questions
Mm.
you are just asking. Why are they willing and in such a rush
Endorsed her.
to fly out to deport Jamaicans? And I'm quite sure that there are some, not all, but there are some that has the right to remain. They have the right to be here.
And you're referring to the recent deportation of 7 Jamaicans from the
Yes.
UK. Ladies and gentlemen, there was a flight which went out on the yesterday, and apparently there were supposed to be 100, and it turned out to be 7 on board, according to what we are picking up here. Home Office deportation flight to Jamaica took off in the early hours of Wednesday morning with 7 people on board. Media reports said the Home Office initially had 100 people on the list of Jamaican nationals that hoped to remove. Although the number was low, it was more than the 4 who left on Jamaican deportation flight last November. 4 of the most recent flights had 17, 13, 7, and 4 people on board. I wonder if these are chartered flights, because if they're not chartered flights, what they should say to people like who want to travel to Jamaica and not have the money, they can say, guys, listen, you guys want to take a trip down to Jamaica as well and give us a free ride, because what's the sense of wasting
Listen,
all that money, you know?
still, this sort of business has been happening for quite a number of years
Yes,
under the Labour Party as well as under the Conservative
yes.
Party. Sorry, and I have known of instances of people who came here, they educated themselves,
Mm.
they qualified themselves, and in particular, nurses. I know of one nurse
Mm.
who was working. She qualified herself as a nurse, working in the hospitals
In the UK here.
in the UK. And when they caught her, yeah, they took her to that place that I think is down Stansted where they have the holding cells.
Yes.
She could not even go back to her flat. She couldn't even go back to her place, not even to pack her stuff.
Mm.
And yet, the way how they build her, just like how they talk about it here, Yardi, um, drug dealers and
Mm.
bad people. They don't distinguish between people who who may have come under difficult circumstances or may have
Yes.
come and their visas ran out. That's fine, but they're not drug dealers. They're not gunmen. They are not doing things that's causing a problem to society. They are
Mm.
making their way, and successive governments have failed. They have failed to distinguish. They just clump all Jamaicans together to say, well, they're all drug dealers,
Mm.
gunmen, knife people, yardies, as they love to call us, and they put
Mm.
us on a plane and ship us out. Now, now you're talking. You want them. You want our government here, yeah, to give Jamaica something. Listen, I
Well,
mean,
well. I mean, Jamaica is somewhat, you know, supporting this move, and apparently there must have been some sort of deal which have been made. At the same time, I'm just reading here as well. I'm just reading something here that somebody sent me. They're saying that the Jamaican government is offering under its new Code Care program a 14-day expenses paid voluntary opportunity, including flight, accommodation, and 2 days holiday to nurses with the following specialty from the UK: operating theatre nurses, post anesthetic care unit nurses, and nurses anesthetics. Right? So you say Jamaica have enough money, you know, and um, and therefore there must have been some sort of deal. There's 5,000 farmers I understand getting lands also in Jamaica. Right, 5,000 farmers, which I believe is a great move and great initiative. Right, ministers are flying over the place. Christopherson is here on the help bid for the Commonwealth. Kamina is going all over the place. Jamaica must be getting something. There must be some sort of deal. There must be something out there that is somewhat going to be beneficial to Jamaica. Kamina Johnson being there in the Commonwealth is not beneficial to Jamaica only the basis that, hey, we got a Jamaican there. It doesn't benefit Jamaica directly. As a matter of fact, I keep saying all the while that by getting so much entangled back in the Commonwealth, when at the same time you make big statements saying we're leaving and becoming a republic very soon, it seemed like a retrograde step. But anyway, they said 54 nations working together. What can I say? It must be good.
well, my friend, you see, we you're smiling. Why are you smiling?
Because I'm waiting to hear what you say.
No, I just think, still, we've got to wake up, man. Smell the coffee. We
And
as
Jamaica,
Jamaicans over here in this here United Kingdom,
yeah.
smell what is being cooking. It's just like what the
Mm.
rock smell what the rock is cooking. I think that we become is the word sensitized,
Sensitized, yes.
and we're not reacting as we should. Seven has been deported. How many
Yeah.
more? How many more? I mean, who were these people? Now we may not. I'm not asking for the names. I'm saying I'm asking who were they? Were they people who were born there, came over here as again as it was back? I think it was 2 3 years ago when people
Mm.
were being deported only because they came over here on their mother's or father's passport and they never took out anything. They've worked, they've got their
Yes.
pensions here, they've got family here, they've got nobody in Jamaica. These 7 people um that was
And back.
sent back. Who are they? Who are these people?
Yes.
Who are these people?
Yeah.
They're not telling us.
Well, a lawyer said to me of recent days to say, what is the Jamaican government doing about all of this? I said, I don't know exactly what they're actually doing. But normally the High Commission will normally say that they're working in the background. And if 100 was there slated to go and they got rid of what, 93 and 7, that was a massive success rate. I guess the 7 may have been, clear case, which was, you know,
Okay. Okay, you
mm,
made a point there. That's fine.
yeah.
If the 7 are people who have directly caused a problem where they're drug dealers and that they are they've been a menace to society, then that's fine. I can understand that.
It sometimes could be overstairs, I mean, persons who are not in the centers, but are overstairs and slated to go. I mean, and I know, and that's one of the reasons why I'm speaking to a couple of lawyers who does immigration law specialists, experts, to do a show maybe once every 2 months, no, once every month, I believe, or eventually maybe every 2 weeks, to look at how they can give advice to persons, because a lot of persons have been burnt. A lot of persons have been burnt by getting wrong advice. I know one particular lady, she's been here for 20 years and she's still, her grandmother was in the UK. She's like a descendant of Windrush and she's just having it hard because she made some dodgy application was made at some point and it's affecting her. And the funny thing about it, Gary, is that the onus is upon her to prove that she has been in the UK all this time. But guess what? Again, most of her papers, where is it? At the Home Office. And she's got to prove, and her grandmother papers are so like that, they're all gone or in some box at the Home Office. But she has to prove that the burden is upon her. He who asserts must prove. And that's where the problem is. And then she's talking about something like they're talking about some chip or some tag. I can't verify that, but that is something. That's why I'm going to try to create this show whereby persons can actually ask questions, or if not ask questions, but some questions can be put out there and can help people at the same time. Because a lot of people actually are struggling. Another thing also, which is terrible regarding the immigration bit, is this: if they do not have a stay in this country, they have a difficulty with healthcare, Gary. Healthcare. They've got to give the surcharges money which they've got to pay. And if their status is not clear, they can have medical difficulties but can't approach as it was before. Of course, if something is devastating and really bad, the medical facilities won't turn people back from uh, accident from accident unit, emergency and accident unit. But that is one of the problems that a lot of people have in the UK. But and they see the UK as somewhat as a bed of rose than Jamaica. Which,
Well, yeah. I mean, that's everywhere sees England as a bed of rose. That's why so many more hundreds are coming across the English Channel, irrespective of how rough the English Channel can become as one of the most boisterous sea lanes in the world. People are still risking their lives to come to the UK.
yeah.
What? For what?
Well, the Commonwealth thing, Gary, the Commonwealth big bashment where they're gonna be announcing who's the winner or who wins. It's in Rwanda.
I was thinking about that just a few moments ago. You know,
Rwanda is a fantastic
it's
place.
it's a
Rwanda is
joke.
a fantastic
It's a
country.
joke. It's a joke.
No, Rwanda is a great place.
Have you been
What?
there?
I don't have to be there to know. Africa is a great place.
You better wipe that down. You better wipe it. You better get a towel and
Africa is a great place, and Rwanda is fantastic. And the funny thing about Rwanda and the whole thing regarding the and they say they're still working on sending asylum seekers to Rwanda, but they made it clear that they're not going to send any Ukrainians to Rwanda. And the Rwandan minister, I won't go back into that or regurgitate. The Rwandan minister standing on the platform with the his equivalent, the Home Secretary Priti Patel, bigging up this whole project. At the same time, the president was in Jamaica, and nobody asked him that question there as to what is happening there. There must be something. You see, everything there's something. There's something in it, but the problem is this: the people are not knowing. Only the government. I mean, in Jamaica right now, the Maroons, which were supposed to be together, they're all split up now. The prime minister pulled one aside and blah blah blah, and they're not united, dividing everybody. Everybody's so divided right now. All these different demonstration division. The PNP now they're saying is leading the charge. You know, at the same time, um, you know, capitalizing on this. Even with the Kamina Johnson bit, they're saying the PNP, the opposition. I just saw something a while ago. Somebody wrote on my page that the opposition lead, they're not happy with it. But I believe what the opposition is saying, what is the benefit to Jamaica? I say Jamaica have billions of persons, but what's the sense of Jamaica pushing something when a few weeks ago you stood up and saying, hey, may I get rid of the Queen? You know, ladies and gentlemen, those are thoughts. Food for thoughts at this time. Food for thoughts. But listen, before we go, I don't know if you have been following the news, but there has been this um, terrible tragedy in America in the fact that this guy went in and killed all these black persons, you know. So look at it this way: if we had take a trip to the states and we went to that place there to have a meal, by virtue of our color, we'll be targets, Gary.
listen. The United States, believe it or not, the United States has always been what it is today.
Mm,
The only reason why we are hearing now almost every day of what the United States is because of this.
mm,
Because of this. And why also? Because this has a camera. So anything that happens, and you got social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook,
yeah,
um, Twitter. Once it hits the social media, it's out there.
yeah,
Out there, everybody. It's around the world. And if the social media, if the social media companies don't pick it up within seconds, they can't. Well, it's gone out there.
mm,
Now, America has always been a violent place for our people, believe
yeah,
it or not, our people and our brothers and our sisters, our fathers, our mothers, our grandparents,
yeah,
uncles, aunts, you name them. Yes, any out there they've been murdered, they've been incarcerated,
yeah.
they've been, you name it. So what we are hearing now is nothing new. Absolutely nothing new. When when is this ever going to stop, Sil? It's not going to stop. It's not going to
And
stop.
And it's not about the gun.
And it's not really about the gun anymore. It's not about that. Now I'm really moved. I'm saddened by the loss of life that has taken place. And again, mainly it's black people. And you know what really gets to me? And it's not highlighted. Well, I don't really listen to a lot of the CNN, and we don't get a lot of the American news, like some may
Yeah.
get Fox and
Mm.
NCB and MSNBC and all of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know what gets to me, Sil?
Mm.
It's this. And I wish some of the news people and even the lawyers or the civil rights would keep hammering home this fact. And it's a fact. If that shooter was a black man, that shooter would not be alive today.
I'm trying to find a video actually. There's a video going around which proves that point, and they showed the recent guys, white guys who did some killing.
Listen,
They
listen,
got
Sil.
water, they got McDonald's, even got
McDonald,
Kentucky.
you think if I was the shooter, if Michelle, if your Revier
Mm.
was the shooter, right? Do you think I'll be taken to McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's to have a burger and fries? Listen, I'll be eating dirt right now. I'll be on a slab, as they call it.
Yes. And a knee would be on your neck.
And 2 weeks time, you'd have Gary Graham, R.I.P. and probably Black Lives Matter, marching down the street saying that
Collecting money on your behalf and don't give it to the community.
no. That in itself,
Mm.
that point in itself is an injustice.
Mm.
Because if and I'm not racist, I've got a lot of white friends, and Sylbourne here will know that in Jamaica, at least, color doesn't matter. Because I had white guys, white friends who Jamaicans anyway, yeah, and we were close. We didn't see black or white, especially in Jamaica. So I'm not racist, but the very fact, right, that you can have a white man, a white boy, a white teenager, even this guy that shot that shot another guy, a guy down in Minneapolis, I think it was, and you know that's a fiasco anyway. But the fact that you've got a white guy who is suited and booted from the top to the bottom, booted, and the police, the New York police, Buffalo police, right, has even described that he was protected, he was armed bodily, and then he's got guns. He's got guns, high-powered rifles, and they come along and say, okay, they don't even slap him to the floor. The black man, right? Lord, oh my God, I'm telling you, the force that they would use, right, to pin him to the ground, and then when they pin him, they shoot him, they step on his neck, they step on his head, right? Then when they shot him and kill him, then they handcuff him, and then expect him to stand up. What kind of stupidness is that?
Yeah.
What foolishness
Yeah.
is that? And we as a people, hold on, Sylbourne, and we as a people, we sit back and cry and moan and groan and do everything, and then we don't do nothing. There's nothing else that we do. Now, I know we've got civil rights leaders out there and civil rights lawyers that are doing their best. Yes, they are doing what they can, and especially this civil rights lawyer that is there at the moment, doing what he can do,
Yeah.
doing what he is doing what he is doing. And yes, he's doing a splendid job, and I understand what he may be doing. But there's got to be more people standing with him. There's got to be more people standing with the civil rights. We've got to be civil rights leaders.
Yeah, I'm just playing that I'm just playing that video there, Gary. You can hear me, yeah?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm just playing a video where they're showing the comparison between the the white
Look at
shooters, the
that.
murderers.
Look.
Mm, yeah.
Yet with this white guy, they're walking with him as if he's a stroll in the park.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah.
Man, come on, man, come on. Look what they even in
Mm,
in the police station.
yeah. Somebody said there was an incident the week before. Family members called the cops for a woman who was 93-year-old woman with dementia who had a knife in her hand, and that call turned into a murder scene.
Lord have mercy, man.
Yeah.
No, come on,
Yeah.
people, come on, man,
Mm,
come on. And the thing about it too, right, is that it happens here. Now it may happen in a different way, Sylbourne.
mm,
It may happen in a different way, but it happens here in the United Kingdom between
mm,
black and white. Let a
mm.
white officer pick up a black man. Well, we see it. They stop and search.
Yes.
They stop and search more black boys than white.
Mm,
So that in itself gives a picture, right? And
yeah.
then when it comes to if this country ever legalized police, well, have you seen it on the news where they want the PCSOs? They want them to carry stun guns.
Stun guns. Yeah.
Now, when they do that, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, it is sad what Michelle is just writing there. The old lady who spoke Spanish, and the cops were telling her to put the knife down in English and shot her 3 times. 93-year-old woman. It just don't make sense, you know. But that's why I say the word is not level. The word is definitely not level. And that's why the UFOs are there mopping us out and wondering what's going on there. Yeah, yeah,
listen,
yeah.
listen, folks. Listen, folks.
Mm,
I I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I really wonder why it is that we are why we speak, why we say anything. I sometimes
mm,
wonder, why do we have meetings? Why are we meeting with the police? Why are we meeting with in our city councils or
Well,
with
I, well, I, well, I, well, I did see a meet. I saw a
or the
meeting
town
recently with
hall
the
and all
police.
that kind of stuff. It's
The police in Brixton of recent days, talking about how they they come out after the young children a lot, you know, and Gary, that's why the UFOs are here. UFO sightings are frequent and continuous. They are saying open statement before the committee. Deputy Director of Naval Intelligence Scott Brace told
I don't
members of
want to talk about UFOs.
huh?
I don't want to talk about UFOs.
Well, I'm just telling you that they're here watching to make sure what's
Well,
going on.
let them watch me. Let them stay up there. I don't want them to come down here.
Do you believe that? Do you believe there are UFOs out there?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the Bible does talk about signs and wonders in the heavens and all of that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that there isn't. There may be,
Mm,
but you see, the reality of what we're having to deal with down here, they don't want us to see the reality. They will then bring in UFO to kind of divert our attention. We need to let our leaders know that we are knowing and seeing what they're doing.
yeah. 11. Yes. Yes. You know, it is sad. It is sad. And I just joined the UFO bit, and Michelle just brought the point a while ago. Killed 10 people and was taken alive. That would never happen to a black man.
It would
Definitely.
not happen, and that's the whole
Definitely.
point.
Definitely not.
That is the issue there, Silborn,
Mm,
and we've got to let the authorities
mm.
know, both here in the UK and there in the United States, we're not there, so there's very little that we can do to kind of push things along. But we've got to let people know, the authorities know here, right, that how they treat our boys, our black boys, is not how they treat their own.
Mm.
Because if my son, God forbid, should either if listen, if my son is in a car with drugs in it and they suspect, just suspect, that
Yeah.
he has a gun in there, he's not coming out of that car alive.
Mm.
I guarantee you, because he's black and he's dangerous. As far as they're concerned, he's dangerous. So if they suspect that there's drugs in there and he hasn't got drugs, but because
Mm.
he's black, he's in a car with two other black boys, yes, and they
Yeah.
suspect that he has a gun in there. He just has to make one wrong move in the car.
Yeah.
They're not even in it with him. He just has
Well,
to probably move his head in the wrong direction and he's shot.
and that's why they call the song "Wrong Move, Wrong Move." Don't make the wrong move. You know what I mean? Gary, listen. Let's wrap up. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining tonight, and let us hear your views. Um, you know, Kamina Johnson for the Secretary General. Partygate. Boris Johnson won't get any more fines. Um, Boris Johnson endorsed Kamina Johnson, so Jamaicans now love Boris Johnson. Before they were saying he's a racist, you know, but now everybody love Boris Johnson because he endorsed Kamina Johnson as well, and he's also a member of the Conservative Party. That's very interesting. Um, Unfortunate with the deportation, again, that is still happening. More information needs to be had as to how, what's the latest on that. The Windrush, Gary. I mean, that's another thing. What's the latest with the Windrush? Okay, we don't know, but we'll try to get somebody to come on or we speak about the whole bit regarding the Windrush factor there when I do the show, which hoping to start very soon. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Remember to like and subscribe. Check us out Saturday night. I think Saturday night show was last week was, what a backside. This week maybe episode what I go on. I think we got to say what I go on, because there's so much different things, and because Talk and Sip tend to talk more about Jamaica, so what I go on is supposed to be very interesting. I don't know. It all depends on what the people say. And of course, your topic is always good. Let us know what topics you believe is well. All right, Gary, we'll talk.
Bless you, man. Bless
Ladies
you.
and gentlemen, thank you very much. Have a good evening.